You have found what lights you up. I'm your host, Sunny the Life Coach, and I'm here because I see you searching for something or someone out there to help you feel better. Something to take away the pain that you're feeling, the inadequacies. I know all of the things that happen in life can leave you feeling empty. Your search is over. This podcast is all about finding your own freedom and power to love yourself enough to shine in the ways you were always meant to, the ways in which you are already fully capable of. If you're ready for some real talk, some serious truth bombs, and a few F-bombs, you are in the right place. Let's do this. Let's get lit. Hey there. Welcome to episode 22. I had so much fun with my last episode around people pleasing. I truly did, because I'm such an expert in this area. Been there, done that so much. Still, I find myself dabbling in it here and there, but it's become much easier to catch myself. And a really cool thing happens when you hit on a topic that resonates so deep within your being. You discover all kinds of ways to build on it. In closing episode 21, I said this most certainly wouldn't be the last time that I talked about this part of us. When I made that statement, I only had a vague concept. I just knew it would need more attention sometime in the future. From there, everything just started falling into place, as things often do when you really tune into your awareness. That is a fact. That's something you can start shifting your belief toward. Here's what happened. I started having conversations in online groups and with clients. That's nothing new. Obviously, I do this all of the time, have conversations. It's what I do every day. I love it. But it all came full circle when I started thinking about the concept of the masks that we wear for various roles in life that we play. That I mentioned in the last episode. Combine that concept with the discussions, and it hit me that I can really dig deeper into the subject of people pleasing by exploring in more detail some of those masks. And why not start with one of the most complex masks of all, motherhood? Now, you may be asking yourself, who the hell does this chick think she is, telling me how to be a good mom? Well, I'm Sunny the Life Coach. That's who the hell I am. And I'm a mom. So there. That's all the cred that I need. Just trust me. Also, I realize that not everyone listening to this podcast may be a mom. You may be a dad, and that's cool too. Because if you are a human being, you have a mom. On that level alone, I encourage you to check me out on this topic from the lens of having a mom, because you might just learn something about her today. You might just learn something about yourself. After all, that is the goal, my friend. That is the journey for all of us, a whole lot of self-exploration. All good stuff, I assure you, even when it doesn't always feel like good stuff in the moment. You'll thank me later. Before I get into this, let me give you a little background. I was working with a client last week who's trying to make some changes in her life around her relationship with her kids. And I was thinking about our conversation. I wanted to give her some follow-up resources. Sometimes I send podcast episodes to clients to drive a point home that we discussed. It's not always my own podcast because, let's be honest, I'm really just getting started. I don't have a ton of my own material just yet. So I searched for a podcast and I honestly couldn't find what I was looking for. I saw a couple of episodes that were close, then I sampled them, and nope, not quite what I wanted. I was doing this while I was out for my daily walk, which is when I do my listening, learning, and thinking. And I decided in that moment, bucket, if I can't find what I'm looking for out there in the world, I'll just create it myself. And here we are. This is really for a few of my clients at the moment, and also for anyone out there who needs it. That's what this journey of mine is all about. Now you get a little insight into how this one came to be. Pretty cool, huh? It's a full circle moment, really. My relationship with my own mom, I feel, has really grown since I became an adult, and certainly since I became a mother myself. It's so much easier now to see how freaking hard it is to be a human in this world, especially a maternal human. We put our mothers on pedestals and hold them to impossible standards, and then we turn around and do the same to ourselves. So while this episode is really about your role as a mom and things that you might consider questioning about those impossible standards you have set for yourself, until I get around to creating the episode that I want to have for your relationship with your own mother, try to grab some thoughts with this one. Let's go. I'm going to have you ask yourself a couple of questions. It's time to get curious. After you answer these questions, I'm going to offer you 3 things that you can do with the information that comes from these inquiries. The first thing I want you to ask yourself is, what do you believe makes a good mom? We need to start with exploring our beliefs around what it means to be a good mom. What meanings have we consciously or unconsciously assigned to this role in particular? It's such a complicated one because most of us strive to not be like our own mothers. Most of us do that. Now, I know there are some of you out there who had the absolute perfect mother, like 5 of you. No, I know there were some of you out there who really believed that their mother was just everything, and your mother may no longer even be with you, and you are missing all of her right now. But I want you to hear me out, because most of us just want to be better than our mothers were for us. We say things like, all I know is that my kids will have it better than I did. Or, when I grow up, I'm going to be a much better mom than she was to me. Or, I will have a better relationship with my kids. They will be able to tell me anything. Notice that second thought in particular. When I grow up, I'm going to be such a better mom than she was to me. Many of us have been designing our utopia version of motherhood in our minds since we were children ourselves. Now, consider how long those beliefs have been rooted in your brain, probably for a good chunk of your life. That's why it's crucial to start here. Really explore these thoughts about the ultimate mom that you have designed in your mind. Write them down. Be brutally honest and don't hold back. What does she look like? How does she behave? How does she show up for her children? Is she always patient and kind? Is she a friend and a confidant? Does she serve her children at all times, preparing all of the meals, performing all of the household chores? Is her house always clean and orderly? Is she highly organized, having no problems multitasking and shuttling kids to extracurricular activities? What are all of the things that make her the best mom ever? What does it mean to you to be the mom who is as close to perfect as humanly possible? Now, I want you to sit with these questions and your answers to these questions for a bit. Sit with them and really reflect before you ask the next question. The next question is, what do you make it mean about you? So I want you to look at the list you've made about your ideal mother, the version you expected yourself to be. Is this aspect of your life, this role in particular, the be-all and end-all of who you are as a person? Now I want you to consider your current reality and make another list of all of the ways that you show up in your mom role. Do you feel exhausted trying to keep up with everything in the household while balancing work, your own social life, and other activities? Do you find yourself consistently putting your child's needs above your own? Are you stressed out, overwhelmed, frustrated? Do you sometimes yell? Do you question your parenting skills and wonder if you're doing it right? Are you worried that you're teaching your children to be lazy or disrespectful? Do you think your children express enough appreciation for all that you do and all that you are? Both of these lists are going to be hard to look at because they will end up being a contrast of idealistic and realistic. I encourage you to ask yourself often, what am I making this mean about me? That's where we really get to the heart of our people-pleasing and perfectionist behaviors that are embedded in our subconscious. Because if we can just get our kids to love and appreciate us in a big way, that means we are worthy. We've done a good job. We have achieved this part of our dreams. Anything short of that is failure. That's what most of us have been making it mean about ourselves. What we have been making our ideal version of motherhood mean is anything short of ideal is failure. Oh yes, I need you to sit with that realization too for a bit, because it's about to get real up in here. The next thing I want you to do is get brutally honest, because really seeing the truth for what it is may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. The truth is often that you are trying to control the outcome. You want to ensure your children have better thoughts about you than you did of your own mother. You want them to have nothing but pleasant childhood memories. You want them to speak of you with adoration long after you have left this world. You want to leave the perfect legacy. All of that means you want to manipulate their thoughts. Here is where you're going to want to push back on what I just said and protest. That's not at all what I'm trying to do. Manipulation is terrible. I would never do that to anyone, let alone my kids. But the truth is that you do. Because if you think that you can mold their thoughts about you through your own actions, you are attempting to manipulate them. It's not something we even consider. We go through life doing this within all of our relationships, really. We think that if we look and act a certain way around others, and we do adjust this based on the person, that we can earn their love and respect. We think this will come automatically as a result of our efforts. But that's not how it works, though. The love and respect that others, including your children, feel for you comes from their own thoughts. You cannot form their thoughts for them. So why are you trying so hard to do just that? My friend, you are people-pleasing your children. Stop it. It's not going to get you the results you are seeking. The truth is that motherhood is messy and very complex. We are all just doing the best we can. And that's within any aspect of our lives. Sometimes it's glorious, and other times it's heartbreak. That's life. Half amazing, half terrible. Your job is to embrace it all. Your job as a mother is to show the tiny humans that you are raising how to do the same. The best thing that you can do is the next item I'm going to cover, and that is find your balance. Here's how you go about it. I want you to revisit your lists again. Yes, again. We're on an exploration here. For all of the characteristics you've listed for Supermom, I want you to identify the ones that you're willing to let go of. Acknowledge the impossibility of it all. That's not who you are. For all of the messy reality version of the mom that you have become, I want you to develop a strategy to change the things that you want to change about that. Let's say your kids are a little bit older. They're not toddlers anymore. They aren't super dependent on you, yet you're still behaving as if they are because you want to ensure that they develop positive thoughts and memories of you. So you're trying to be Supermom and keep up with everything in the household, probably in addition to working full-time, by the way. That's most of you out there. So we're here with the impossible version of Supermom, and I've just asked you to revisit your list and your thoughts with the intent of identifying what you might be willing to let go of. For example, perhaps you wrote something like, I want the kids to do more chores around the house, but they don't do it right, and it just ends up being more work for me to stay on them about doing it. Most of the time, I end up yelling at them, so it's just easier to do it myself. Let's break that very long stream of thought and sentence down into obstacles and strategies. Before I go into this process, I will reiterate this is an example, and these strategies are examples. You come up with your own. I'm offering you some ideas here, some new thoughts to think, and new actions to take from those thoughts. So let's break that down. Obstacle 1, I'm overwhelmed with housework. A strategy could be you could develop a chore list for the kids and review your expectations with them. Be careful not to assign any emotion to this activity in your mind. So, for example, if they love me, they will do it. That might be a thought that you think as you're presenting this to your older children. You may well have emotion behind this request. Perhaps you expect that your overwhelm will be replaced with feeling accomplished, but you're not going to attach emotion to this activity. It's simply a chore list, nothing more. So that is the strategy for the obstacle. I'm overwhelmed with housework. That is a potential strategy. Next obstacle, they don't do it right. Your strategy is to decide what done looks like. Anything short of that is incomplete. From now on, it's either done or it's not. That is a new thought to think instead of saying they didn't do it right. This is another obstacle, I end up redoing the work because it's half-assed. Strategy. Stick with the discomfort that you know is coming, the complaints, the arguments, and the games. If you've already shown in the past that you'll eventually give in and take over, they're going to expect it, and rightfully so. The first few rounds are going to be brutal. Remember, short-term pain for long-term gain. Another obstacle, it's easier to do it myself. A strategy for that could be, I'm going to catch this thought from now on and call it out for the lie that it is. It is not easier. There's an imbalance of responsibility that needs to be corrected, and it's my job to teach my kids essential life skills. New thoughts to think, my friend, new thoughts to think. Final obstacle, I yell at them. Strategy, sometimes moms yell. If I lose my cool, I'm not going to beat myself up or make it mean that I'm not a good mom. Again, these are examples. You come up with your own list and develop strategies that will work for you and your family. The main thing is that you don't waver. Because if you continue to be inconsistent with your expectations, your kids will continue to be inconsistent with their performance. Model the way, and they will eventually fall in line. And if they don't, it doesn't mean that you're a bad mother. And it doesn't mean that you're unworthy of their love and respect. It simply means there is more work to be done. And it's likely work on yourself. It's also important that you don't skimp on daily thought downloads and self-coaching practice. It's vital information that you need to uncover in order to make small shifts in your thinking that will lead to big changes long term. And I know I haven't talked about it too much here yet, so self-coaching in a nutshell is capturing your thoughts in raw form, writing them down, and then revisiting to uncover any flawed perceptions that are lurking underneath the surface. That's the basic explanation. I'll go into more depth at another time, or you can sign up for a free session with me, and I'll be happy to review this one-on-one, as I do with every client. It's truly essential to keeping your thoughts in check, especially those subconscious ones. It's how you go about the business of knowing yourself on a much more intimate level, and it will strengthen all of your relationships along the way. Okay, here's the final thing I want you to do. I want you to explore your version of the role of mom. Really take a step back from all of your unrealistic expectations of yourself and your dream version of perfection. Of course, the answer to how to be a good mom is ultimately what you define it to be. The best advice I can provide is this. I'm going to give you 4 suggestions in this area that have worked for me, and I highly recommend them. Number 1, let go of competing with your mother, or any other mom for that matter. Motherhood is not a fucking competition. It is complex, as I've stated several times now. It is complex, messy, ever-changing, and different for all of us. No one is doing it better than another, and none of us are doing it wrong. We're all just doing the best we can with what we know. Number 2, stop manipulating your children. You cannot control their thoughts. Accept that there will be moments when they hate you, whether or not you feel deserving of any negative emotion. Embrace it as part of the half terrible moments of life. Their thoughts are their choice. Number 3, extend compassion to yourself. You create your own experience of this life with your thoughts. Notice how you think of yourself and get to work on changing any negative self-talk on replay. Your brain will often send you invitations to a downer party. That's what our brains do. That's how we have programmed them to work. You don't have to RSVP to that party. You always have a choice to decline your negative thoughts and the energy that comes along with it. Remember to extend compassion to yourself. Recognize that you are also still learning. Number 4, become the guide. Your children will have many friends in life, but their relationship with their mother is much deeper. When you show up as the loving guide, put here to show them how to become wonderful, responsible humans, shining their own light and embracing the bad parts of life as well as the good, your relationship will most likely strengthen. You were not put here to serve them, as in doing everything for them. You were put here to teach them how to navigate this world. And you'll be amazing at doing this because you've learned how to do it yourself. Let's recap. That was a lot of information. Ask yourself 2 questions. What do you believe makes a good mom? And what do you make that belief mean about you? From there, get curious. Be brutally honest in all of your perceived shortcomings. Find your balance by identifying the obstacles you have created for yourself with those beliefs you have formed. Then create strategies to make adjustments in your own behavior and how you show up. Be willing to get uncomfortable. Change is always uncomfortable. Explore your version of the role of mom. Do not gloss over the part about extending compassion to yourself. As you do this, this is not an exercise in beating yourself up. This is an exercise in creating the life that you want to be living. It won't always be in perfect harmony. Embrace the messy, mundane, and downright shitty aspects too. Those aspects are simply part of this role and every role that you assume. And now it's time for Rumi. When will you begin that long journey into yourself? That's where all of the answers lie, my friend. Do not discount this work. It's so very necessary, so very important. We mothers have to learn how to untangle all of the messaging from our own upbringing and society as a whole in order to get to the truth. We have to uncover the beliefs that have been created over our lifetime and make choices to adjust in order to have a greater experience of being human. The best thing we can do for our children is to clear up our own minds. Demonstrate the power of doing so and teach our children how to do the same. So much emotional suffering can be eliminated through this lifelong practice. Be willing to play the long game, learning and growing right alongside them. So you know how to be a good mom? You look in the freaking mirror and you say it to the person looking back at you. Even when you make mistakes, even when you have bad days, even when you lose your shit, you are a good mom. One that is perfectly imperfect, acknowledging that you're willing to grow and learn and change too. You've got this, Mama. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this topic today. If you'd like to talk more about this or any other subject that has you feeling a bit sideways, I am here for you. Just head over to my website, sunnythelifecoach.com, and click Let's Do This. You'll get a link to my schedule, and we'll have some quality time together, just you and me. Light up, shine on.